Hello and welcome to Theme Park Worldwide, where today we've got our high-vis jackets on.
We're official.
We've got our lanyards on and we are here at Lightworks. This is the hub for Blackpool Illuminations. Ever since I was a kid, I've absolutely loved Blackpool Illuminations. I think you're the same, aren't you, Charlotte?
Yeah, they're so iconic.
They are iconic. They've ran for a very long time. And in this video, thanks to the team here at Lightworks and of course Blackpool Council and the Illuminations team, we're going to be taking you on a very exclusive tour where we're going to go into places that you've never seen before, that have been revealed. And we're right here now in the warehouse. We're going to be joined by lots of different people that work here at Lightworks and take you on this big tour. Of course, I'm really excited to share this with you. I've got so much passion for the Illuminations, and of course a big reason for showing you all of this as well and making it really exclusive is the fact they of course need donations too. And when you come in here to the Illuminations, you donate when you drive through, but they've also set up a certain little page just down here. So if you look down the bottom of your screen, that's where you can donate to the Blackpool Illuminations, because they really need it, don't they, Charlotte?
They really need the support. So much work goes into this, so donations are always welcome.
Now, I first came here a few weeks ago when we was planning this tour. This is Charlotte's first time here.
I'm so excited.
Oh, there's so much to see, isn't there?
So much to see today.
And of course, I know quite a lot about the Illuminations, but I'm going to learn a lot of stuff along the way. We're actually going to be out on the roadway. We're going to check out some of the substations. I'm actually going to go up in a genie lift, a cherry picker, and go and change some of the lamps. So looking forward to that. And of course, Charlotte's going to be doing a lot of filming here too.
Yes.
So are you excited?
Yeah.
Let's start our tour around Lightworks, the heart, the hub of Blackpool Illuminations. This spectacular show started back in 1879 and originally began with just 8 carbon arc lamps along the promenade. The display continued to grow, and by 1912 over 10,000 lamps lit up Blackpool's famous promenades. Following the First World War, Blackpool's iconic illuminations continued to grow, and by 1925 the display was bigger than it had ever been before. It was in 1932 that animated tableaux were erected along the cliffs in Bispham, and the display grew to its current length of just over 6 miles. The display returned after the Second World War and continued to evolve as technology improved. Now, Blackpool Illuminations combines traditional festoons and tableaux along the promenade to wow visitors. No wonder it's commonly known as the greatest free light show on earth. To tell us more about the history of the Illuminations, our first stop was a trip into the archives of this spectacular and historic light show. Right then, so I'm now here with Tom. Nice to see you, Tom, from the Blackpool Council Heritage Service. So we're in the archives room now. Like, we've never been in here before. This is really exciting. So Tom, if you want to tell us a little bit about what this room has got in store for us today to see.
Yeah, so basically this is all the historic collection from the Illuminations department going back to about 1925. Unfortunately, a lot of the earlier stuff doesn't survive, but from 1925 up to the present day, we've got a really good selection of stuff that basically artwork, photographs, documents, anything that kind of contributed to the creation, construction and installation of the Illuminations. Pretty much like that to the present day.
It's fascinating to see. It's very well organised in here, as you're going to see throughout this. All the different files and cabinets that have got everything stored in. I think we'll take a little look round, shall we, and see some of the items, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome, let's take a little look round. Okay then, so we're going to take a little walk around. Of course, we've got this just off to the side here, the Comedy Parade. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is one of the original pieces of artwork from 1966. And we have a lot of these, we refer to them as panoramics. They're effectively road sections, so they'll have been pieces that go over the main drag of the promenade, and they effectively create these pieces of artwork to show you what it would have looked like as a concept. So this is a great one from, like I say, from 1966. You've got Mr. Blackpool, Charlie Caroli on one of the stars, Charlie Chaplin. So it's just a fantastic piece of historical record to show you what that would have looked like.
It really makes you appreciate just how much effort has gone into that as well, of course, all being painted there, and like you said, from 1966. That's absolutely fantastic, it really is.
Yeah. And then effectively behind here we've got a lot of what is work in progress. There's a lot of the business side of things, the files, the paperwork. We're still in the process of sorting them, so that's very much a job that's ongoing. Let's see, we just have this assortment of bits.
Yeah, all sorts of things.
Unfortunately, not much of the Illuminations have actually survived, either because they were sold off, or bits were kind of salvaged and reused in the next installation, or they were just scrapped after their sort of lifetime ran out. But we do have the odd sorts of bits and pieces that survive, which have just made quite an interesting archive of the Illuminations.
Really nice just to be able to see these older bits and just gives you a bit of an idea exactly what it used to be like, doesn't it? So much history to the Illuminations, and I think that's why so many people are passionate about it.
Yeah, and I mean, really, it's why this archive is important, is that it does show how it's all evolved over time, how the designs have changed, it's also how the technology's changed, how you've gone from sort of wooden cutouts with bulbs to fiberglass, and gone from neon into fibre optics. It's sort of it all kind of plays through in the designs, and that's why this is a really important catalogue of how that's evolved over time, how the designs have changed, even to a certain degree how the culture's changed, how, you know, so people like Charlie Chaplin and Charlie Caroli are really important in the day, and they're there represented in the Illuminations.
Definitely. So we're a little bit further round then now here in the archive room, and we've got some different photos to see here.
Yeah, we've got about 11,800 photographs. Most of them are actually our main centre in Blackpool Central Library, because they've been taken away to be conserved and catalogued by volunteers. But I've got some quite good examples that have been put on boards for over the years, and it's just a good example of the sort of photographs that we have.
Just amazing to see how much detail went into those as well.
Yeah, and you look at the scale of them when you look at that little girl stood next to the policeman.
Have you got a kind of date when this is from, can you think?
This is early 1920s, I believe.
Wow.
And you've got things like, that's a publicity shot from to do with the switch-ons, so that's obviously quite an important thing as well, the switch-on ceremonies and the stars that did them. So that's Violet Carson, who used to be in Coronation Street, if you might remember. So that was a publicity shot that they took to sort of highlight the fact that she was doing the switch-on that year.
That's amazing, and that's been a big thing with the Illuminations, the switch-on events every single year, the big switch-on. What celebrities are going to be here? Who's turning them on?
See, that's a classic 1950s design with the sort of strong man, and
I love that. That's like your classic kind of seaside artwork, isn't it? What you associate with the...
I kind of like that period, because you get a lot of cheeky sort of saucy seaside humour going on. There's lots of interesting ones. There's Danny LaRue also doing the switch.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, we've got over 11,800 photos, and actually the photographs are also really important, because not all of the paper designs survive. So there's some illuminations where the photographs are the only record of what they look like when they were up. So that's a really vital piece of our collection.
Definitely, and of course everything's really nicely dated down here as well, as you can see, all nicely stored and looked after.
Yeah, so these are the plan chests that we keep all the designs in. So we actually had Heritage Lottery funding to help buy the equipment and the sort of plan chest drawers, and we have these.
Oh wow, look in there.
So this is special sort of archive grade polyester, which is designed to help stabilise the paper or whatever medium. These are sort of more like construction paper and sort of technical drawing paper. It helps protect the actual medium, the pen, the ink, whatever it is that they've drawn them on, and it also sort of helps prevent any sort of tearing or anything. So it's really important to have them in these mediums. And essentially we've got them all organised chronologically, so you can sort of trace the history of the Illuminations through the designs.
Just amazing to look back through them and see that they're all still here. Of course, we were talking just before we got the camera rolling about now it's all done on computers, isn't it, and all digital.
Yeah, so the designs in here only go up to sort of mid-2000s, because from then on, like I say, it's all sort of computer design, so they weren't printed out for these kind of purposes, whereas obviously a lot of these are on things like board and full paper.
Blackpool Model Village in Stanley Park.
Yeah.
Still going to this day.
Yep. Yeah. Great. That's a great design, and you get things like the old advertising tableaus they used to do, nice ones for things like St John's Ambulance.
Oh wow!
And that's one of the things I think that's really interesting about them, is that it's sort of shows you things like all kind of organisations, like there's Boy Scouts ones, Girl Guides, promotional ones for Join the Army. Like the interesting, it's not just the kind of funny seaside designs. It's something like the advertising and the different organisations that were supported through the Illuminations that are really interesting.
That's really fascinating, and I guess the Illuminations have just stood through the test of time, and they just ran through the wars and these events that have happened over the time. You know, it's a big history.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things I loved. I was doing some research into the war. I found that although obviously the Illuminations didn't run during the war because of blackouts,
yes,
they still actually contributed stuff like when they used to do war savings campaigns. They actually built tableaus for the town hall, so when it was sort of Warship Week or Aid to Russia Week, the Illuminations department were putting up these massive sort of tableau designs on the town hall to try and advertise these national savings campaigns. So it was, you know, the department was really important.
After chatting with Tom over in the archives, it's time to head into the main factory itself.
Right then, so I'm now here with Richard, who is the Illuminations manager. Richard, it's great to see you.
Yeah, great to see you, and what a day.
What a day for it.
You've had some sun with you, haven't you? It's brilliant.
Honestly, but yes, we're here at Lightworks. We're about to head in to the main building. Look, the main warehouse, would you call it? Or?
It's the main factory, isn't it? So it's a bit of everything. We manufacture and store here. Yeah.
It's really fascinating just to be able to see this, and of course, thank you so much for getting us along, for the opportunity to come and show the viewers round.
Oh, no problem. I hope you're going to enjoy it.
Definitely. So you can just tell us a little bit about the operation here. How many people work here? And is it an all year round thing, just to give the viewers a bit of an idea?
Okay, so it's an all round operation, 365 days a year. We even have people available on Christmas Day, believe it or not, in case there's any issues. We've 24 staff, multidisciplines, so engineers, artists, animators, anyone you could wish for, really.
Big team.
It's a big team, and obviously it's a big factory as well, isn't it?
As we're going to find out in this video. So I'll let Richard lead the way. We're going to head inside and we're going to take a tour around. Really looking forward to seeing this and all the little details as well. So really excited. Let's head inside.
Let's go.
So of course we started off in like the reception area just here, and then you walk through this door, and this is when you really see the scale of Lightworks here at the Blackpool Illuminations. Wow. Look at this place, it is absolutely huge. I mean, it's huge, isn't it? Like,
it is, it's really huge, yeah.
So many different sections to see, and I believe you're going to take us around all the different sections to give us a good idea of what goes on here.
Yeah, I'll take you around. Obviously, it's big because of the pieces, you know, all the illuminations are really, really big. Look tiny outside, but because of the scale, we have to go big.
That's the thing what really shocked me when I first saw this place, of course, when we was planning this video, coming in here and just standing next to some of the different items, but when they're up there on the road, you don't realise the scale of them, and then you stand right next to them, and it really makes you appreciate just how tall they are. So I'll let you lead the way.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's go and have a look round here at Lightworks. But yeah, just seeing the scale of the building here really is incredible.
So we're in the heart of Lightworks now. This is the sort of main assembly area, and also where we test everything. So we build around the edge, we store around the edge, and everything feeds into this central location.
Now, of course, a huge part of Blackpool Illuminations is the overall maintenance of the displays, isn't it? And something big going on here by the looks of it.
It is. This is the Egyptian tableau, big favourite with families. Everyone loves the dummy that pops up out the chest. Still frightens a few children even today.
It's a classic.
Absolute classic, and it gives you an idea of scale actually as well. This is one of our medium tableaus, and it's in for a major refurb. You'll see some of the pieces that are greyed out, and that is really where we've replaced all the timber work, and we're going to repaint the graphics on there. And it's really down to the elements, so we have to do that every few years.
It's a huge job as well, isn't it? And you get to see all the details in here, and like Richard said, you know, you appreciate the scale of these, just how tall they are and how much work goes into them. When was this originally built, this tableau?
That's a really good question. It's round about when I started, so about 1987, round about that time. And it's one of my favourite tableaus, mainly because it was when I started, really. And you can see also that it's in pieces, which a lot of people don't realise. We call that jigsawing. And what that means is we can take things apart, and that's really for moving. You know, like you've stood behind, you've got a piece of the pirate tableau, and actually gives you an idea of the sort of standard pieces that we have.
There we go, so there's a look at all of those. So are all of these being repainted, are they, at the moment?
They're all in. You can see some look a little bit grubby, but they'll all be refurbished and ready to go out this year's season.
Now, of course, you're already probably getting a good idea on the scale of this place. So many different rooms, so much going on. What can we see in front of us here then? What's going on?
Okay, we're now in the fabrication shop. So this is where we work in steel and aluminium, and we make all our frames ourselves. So people don't realise that. You know, and I've had other visitors, they come and they'll ask me, where do you buy the illuminations from? I say, oh no, we actually make them and design them here. So this is where we do all the steel and aluminium fabrication, which is again, it's quite a big shop. There's all sorts going on at the minute. This is a bit of a top secret project, but I can tell you a little bit about it. This is a giant heart that's 7 metres tall.
Oh wow.
That we're working on at the moment. We've got other frames that you can see being manufactured. And it's just a really big shop, some quite old-fashioned really. So we've got the old Asquith drill there. That dates back to 1937, believe it or not.
Wow, so that's really old.
It's really old, but a really good piece of machinery.
Is that still used to this day?
Still used to this day.
That is incredible.
Absolutely, and then of course we move on, so that's sort of the old style fabrication, and then we move on to the new style fabrication.
A robo arm I can spot in there. Oh wow.
So a lot of our carving now is done by the 6-axis robotic arm that Carlson will give you a demo if you like.
It'd be great to see it in action. Let's take a look.
All of the shapes are designed in a special program that calculates the correct size that each cutout needs to be. Once complete, the files are transferred over to the robotic arm. Cutting out the shape of this heart took the robo arm around 30 minutes. As you can see, this is a very messy job. However, luckily the robo arm doesn't mind getting covered in polystyrene. Prior to Lightworks having the robo arm, this would have been done manually and would have been a much longer process.
Okay, so as well as working in steel and aluminium, we also work in wood. Very, very traditional material to build illuminations with. So if we're working in wood, we need a big joinery shop, don't we? So this is the joinery shop. We manufacture new in here, but also do a lot of repairs. Okay, so this is a very, very traditional construction. This is what we call trellis work. This is going to form part of the Venus Reborn tableau. We're rebuilding it this year, but we're going to call it Venus Remix. So it's going to have some new top secret additions to it and a complete new back scene. So this is what this is. So you can see, as I mentioned, trellis work, and then we lay the timber on top and paint that, as you can see over here.
It really makes you appreciate just how much work has to go into every little detail, especially of the tableaus just here.
So as you can see, this is a piece of the finished back scene. Again, in small sections, as we call it jigsawing. This will be put together out on the promenade, and it just makes it easy for us to transport.
Okay, so we're continuing our tour around then here at Lightworks. What have we got going on here then, Richard?
Okay, we're manufacturing a top secret installation, but this is for 2022. So I can't tell you much about it, but it's really exciting and it's going to be big.
We're getting a little sneak peek at it. It's looking big. So many different parts that are all going to come together.
They are, again, all jigsawed, but all our features, all our 3D features, they start life as a block of polystyrene. As we've walked around, you've seen loads and loads of blocks. Then it's carved now on the robotic arm and creates something like this. And again, this is one section, and then we lay that with a foil, and then we can lay the fiberglass on top of it, and that gives us our piece for manufacture there.
Right then, so I believe I'm going to get a bit hands-on then now, Richard. What do you want me to do?
Right, so this is a section of one of our towers for the Top Secret project 2022. First of all, we need to get a nice smooth finish on this. The robot does quite a good job.
Yeah.
Just to be carved by the robot, we need you to have a go just smoothing it down. I think you can do that.
A bit of sanding, yeah, there we go. It's what you all want to see, isn't it, viewers? Me doing a bit of hard graft. There we go. There.
It's actually not as easy as what you think.
It's not, no, it's actually really tough actually, isn't it? Yeah. It's also trying to hold it, because of course it's huge, but it's really light, isn't it? It's just been the polystyrene.
So if you start sticking off at one corner,
yeah,
and then you move forward, you have to smooth it out. And we'll be counting.
Getting a bit complex this one for me, Richard. Here we go.
You will, and we're going to count the number of creases that you get in as well.
Alright, okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
There we go.
Right, this is where the fun bit starts. Here we go, viewers. So we're kind of Doesn't matter where this goes though.
It doesn't matter where it
can't go anywhere. Just suppose when you put more on, you overlap them.
Nice and smooth, that's the secret.
Alright, okay. Well, that's my attempt at it. It's a bit creased. It's a bit creased. Come on, give us the score out of 10. How's it looking?
Oh, that's a solid 7.
I'll take 7. I've never done that before. I think I'll take 7 for that. Not too bad. But there you go. Of course, someone's got to do that for each and every one of these.
Yeah.
It's a big job. Fair play. Full respect to them. Of course, you've got the robo on, which is great for cutting it out, but you still can't beat getting your hands dirty and getting down there and getting on with it. But yeah, big job. Right then, so we're over to all of the high-tech lighting here now. I mean, I can see moving heads and park hands and all sorts here, Richard.
Yeah, as well as traditional illuminations, you know, we've had to think about how we enhance it. So we've introduced what we call a lot of new technology, which is new technology for the illumination, which is moving heads, as you said, park hands, LED curtains and things like that. But what you probably don't realise is that we service them all ourselves. These are actually the units from the mirror ball that are in for a major overhaul, so we do look after them all here in Lightworks.
That's amazing. So of course, instead of having to outsource it, it's all done internal here. I mean, just the inside of these here, absolutely huge as well. And again, it really makes you appreciate how much work just has to go into service these just here. And of course, you've not just got the 2 up there, loads all down here. Right then, so we're over into the storage area then now, Richard. So we've got lots of different features here, of course. Tell us about some of them and we'll take a closer look.
Okay, I don't know if you recognise this from when you visited.
Yes.
Recognise it?
Yeah, so there's a lot of Indian scene?
Indian tableau,
yes.
Yeah. This is the top piece of the Indian tableau. He's just been in for a major refurb, ready to go out. So, as I mentioned before, we have to jigsaw everything. So all these bays have all the tableaus in. We bring them in every year. And we look to install them, we then build them up in the area that we saw before. That's where we give them best in MOT, so they check
check everything over.
Yeah, check structurally, mechanically, electrically tested. I think it's a nice certificate, then comes back here, and then that's ready to go out this year.
Awesome, and it all sort of packs down quite well actually, doesn't it, in here? You know, it's all slots in quite nicely.
It does, you know, considering we have over 30 large-scale tableaus. And a little bit of information for you, there's 512 columns on the promenade that we try and illuminate, even if it's just with a piece of festoon.
There you go, that's a fun fact for you. 512 columns.
There is.
Wow, that is incredible. But yeah, we'll take a look at some of the others just around here in the storage area. I've been visiting the Blackpool Illuminations ever since I was a kid, and I've got fond memories with my parents heading to Blackpool and walking through all of the lights, but especially the tableaus on the cliffside, of course, in Bispham. Everyone's got some of their own favourite tableaus, and I would love to know what yours are too. So make sure you comment down below on this video and let me know what some of your favourite tableaus are, and if you'd spotted them at some point during this video.
So these are some of the roadway features that are in for a service. What you won't appreciate when you see them on the prom is the scale. They're absolutely huge, weigh anything from 300 to 500 kilograms.
Blimey.
This is a feature that would go on literally one of the columns.
That is incredible, and just to give you a bit of an idea on the scale, we've stood Charlotte just in front of the clown just here with the big top. The huge. What are you thinking of this place so far?
Really good, really good.
It really makes you appreciate how much work goes in, doesn't it?
Yep.
And the scale of them, let me stand a little bit further back. There we go, you can see Charlotte there. So like Rich has just said, these stand above the road on the columns there. Really gives you an idea, doesn't it? Incredible. And of course, just notice these over here as well, Richard. So are these that hang across the middle of the road?
Exactly that, yeah. You can see the holes that are drilled in there for a U-bolt. So this would hang on a wire in the centre of the road. And we've been busily converting everything to LED for a number of years now, and the work still continues. So these are LED tubes now.
Oh, okay.
And that's driving, obviously, our energy consumption down, but also the electricity cost. You know, the electricity cost for the traditional illuminations of the 66 nights is about £55,000.
Wow, it's a lot of money, but when you think about how many people it brings to Blackpool and the enjoyment and the smiles it creates, it's priceless, isn't it?
Absolutely priceless, and of course it's a lot less than what it used to be.
definitely making it more energy efficient. But yeah, just to see one of these, like we say, these normally hang between the posts, don't they?
They do, yeah.
And so much to think about with Blackpool's weather as well, and things getting weathered and the wind.
Absolutely. I mean, we do get a lot of phone calls that features the bouncing in the middle of the road when it's windy, but they are designed to do that, because if we fix them, that will give us more trouble than letting them move a little bit.
Really interesting fact to know. I didn't know that, but there you go. Yeah, really nice just to see these, and of course all being converted into LED.
Okay, so again, we're in more storage. Hopefully, Sean, you recognise what this is.
Yes, the Daleks there, of course, from Doctor Who.
It is. They've been sort of resting for a couple of years, but you'll be pleased to know they're going out this year.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that are happy to hear that news, Richard.
I think so. You know, what a lot of people don't know is they say, well, how do you build something like this? And we had no plans or anything. They literally, the BBC sent us some models, and we had to literally scale these up from models in those days.
Wow, that is incredible. And the details of these, it's nice to see them in here, and you realise all the different like colour tones that have gone into it and how much detail. Sometimes when they're high up, you don't appreciate them as much as seeing them
here. You don't, and
here.
that's one thing, you know, we've looked at, and so these will be a lot lower down this year, so a nice photo op.
That's great, especially in the world of social media now as well, and hashtags and all that kind of stuff. If people can come and stand in front of something, if there's a hashtag to use, and it's all a big thing these days, and it's how the Illuminations have moved on over time, isn't it?
It is. You know, we were talking about that before, weren't we, where we're saying we don't want to replace what we've got, we've new, it's about enhancing it, and I think that's a sensible approach.
Definitely. So we've got one of Charlotte's favourites just over here. You love these. So we've got the absolutely enormous spacemen just here. I like how they're all in storage here. It's like they're holding hands. These actually used to hang above the carriageway, didn't they, all the way across?
Lovely.
And again, you get an idea on the size.
How big they are.
Standing next to Charlotte.
Even with me, my arms in the air, look how big they are.
You're like the height of his waist just there, I think. But yeah, you got the four of those just down here that are all standing next to each other, arm in arm. Yeah, I love those. So these are some of the oldest features that they've got here at the Blackpool Illuminations, and some of Charlotte's favourites again.
I love the bears.
They're great, aren't they?
They're lovely.
And of course, there's a great photo opportunity as well. And yeah, just to see them all down here. Again, getting nice and close to them. These are on the ground anyway, but it's nice, of course, to get up close without having any barriers there, just to see them. And of course, you've got all of the pirates just over there as well. Right then, so we're standing now at the back of what is one of the most iconic features, in my opinion. It's the pirate ship.
It is, and what you can see here, obviously it's been in display a long time. You know, it's suffering from the rigours of the weather, really.
Yeah.
The plan is this year, it's going to go out, it's going to come in, and then we're going to totally rebuild the frames.
That's a big job.
It's a big job, a very expensive job, and we're able to do that courtesy of sponsors, actually. So we do get, you know, supporting companies that will sponsor the Illuminations, and that facilitates us really to do, you know, to upgrade and refresh things, really.
That's a big part of it, isn't it? Refreshing the offering.
And bringing the old favourites back. You know, you can imagine we'd get lynched if we didn't put the pirate ship out.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's the classic. So the plan is to do this over the winter period and bring it back out for the following year.
Absolutely, yeah. What we've actually already measured up. So we'll build the new frame while it's out this year, and then we'll install it when it comes back in.
And that's a huge job. Have you got a kind of time frame, do you think, for that? Or are we talking weeks, months? Or?
It's going to be months, to be honest with you.
Big job.
Along with everything else that we've got. I mean, it does help with the lights being on to the 3rd of January this year. You know, we're extending them again, so that's really cool. You know, I was listening to people last year say it was amazing to actually come out on Christmas Eve and drive through the Illuminations.
Yeah, really nice opportunity for people to do, and of course, like Richard touched on there with the sponsorships, this was sponsored by Coral Island, last year.
Yeah, it's over a number of years, so it really does help us improve things.
Definitely.
Sponsorships are one of the many different ways that Blackpool Illuminations raises funds to keep the display in operation. You'll find out about one of the other unique ways shortly. Now that Richard has shown us around the factory, let's meet more of the fantastic team here at Lightworks.
Right then, so I'm here now with Emma, who is the Illuminations animator here at the Blackpool Illuminations. Thanks for joining us in the video. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do here?
Okay, so I'm the Illuminations animator. Which primarily is working with the projection work on the tower that we do, but obviously I do other jobs as well, which can be design work, and
everything what comes into it. Yeah, I can see some of your work actually running on the screen there in the background as well. So tell us a little bit about that.
So this is a project that we worked on in 2016 in collaboration with Lawrence and his daughter Cecile, where we made a show. Cecile came up with the concept and I basically just brought the concept to life.
That's amazing. And how much work would you say went into that? How many hours just to create one video like that?
Wow, from initial concept to final delivery of the animation, probably you're looking at maybe about 4 to 5 months work.
That is a lot of work. I mean, I love projection mapping. The viewers will tell you how much I love it when I go to theme parks and attractions, but just to meet yourself and know how much effort goes into one video, and it's a lot, isn't it? You've got to be really dedicated for that.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of stressful hours pulling your hair out, waiting for renders to complete, but it's all worth it in the end when you see the final product go up and the viewers giving you compliments saying how good the work is, so it's all worthwhile in the end.
Definitely. Now, another thing that I know that you look after are the light boxes as well, so tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, so the headlights we've done now for many years, and the concept of it is local people can send their photos in and be illuminated in the illuminations.
That's awesome, and I believe that me and Charlotte are going to be having one this year, so
yeah.
We're going to you're going to kind of show us the process about that and how it's done.
Yep.
To start the process, Emma took a photo of me and Sean that would be featured in the headlights. Usually, you'd be able to submit a photo that you've taken at home that you would like to be featured. Following this, the photo was edited to add more colour. This means that our photo will shine even brighter during the illuminations. To end the process, the file was sent to this huge printer. This can take up to 30 minutes to be completed.
Okay then, so we've made our way downstairs, haven't we now? So what's happened with the process then here to kind of put all this together?
Yeah, so what we've done is we've transferred your image into the computer that runs this printer, and we've gone ahead and printed your headlight, which you can see over here.
Here it is, so there we go, there's the picture of me and Charlotte. How nice is that?
It's lovely, it's so much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, they're huge, aren't they? And of course you get your name just down at the bottom here as well.
Lovely.
Charlotte and Sean, and our wonderful photos there, rocking the high-vis jacket. So of course when the illuminations are on this year, you'll be able to spot us up there, of course.
Yeah, you're going to have to find us.
You've got to find us, try and find where we are. But thank you so much, really appreciate it. Keep up the great work, really appreciate it. Love it. Right then, so I'm now joined by Phil from Lightpool, who's going to tell us all about it. And of course, this that we can see behind us here.
Yeah, so Lightpool for this year is on the 15th to 30th of October, so it's about 15 nights. There's performance, there's light art trail, there's the tower projections. It's absolutely amazing. This will be our 5th year, it's all free. I'm thankful for the money that Blackpool Council decided to commit to it, and we're also funded by Arts Council England. So some great partnership work going on there. And this, as you can see, is one of the works in the scheme for this year.
This looks really impressive, so tell us a bit more, Phil, about exactly what we can see here, because I'm not too sure exactly what it is.
Okay, so this is 48,000 litre water containers.
48,000, do you hear that? That's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what we're going to do is we're going to put those on a truck and we're going to trail them through Blackpool. There's a local company called Fox Brothers who have sponsored this artwork.
Okay.
And we're going to take this on a tour around Blackpool. So all the people that maybe can't get into the town centre, or just feel that they don't want to go out at night, we'll take this to them in Blackpool on their doorstep.
And it's
for
got
4 different
around.
nights, different routes on the 3 of the nights, and you'll be able to come out and see it.
That is amazing. As you can see from the footage on your screen there, of course, there's a few different shows that this is going to do as well, isn't there?
Correct, we've got 4 different light shows, so between 3 and 5 minutes each. They're kind of all different, so one's a dance track, and one's a ballroom track, and one's more of a classical track. So if you come see the first one, you can come back later and see another one. And a great team that have programmed this, probably spent hundreds of hours on it. As you can see, there's a lot of work gone into it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something new, it'll be massive, you won't be able to miss it. And it's all free, so why not come and see it?
Definitely. It all sounds really exciting. Thanks so much, Phil. I
You're
believe you've got
welcome.
something else to show us here today as well. So
We've got a big bird somewhere floating about.
let's go and see this big bird. Right then, so of course we've got this huge bird made out of what seems to be car parts, Phil. Tell us all about it.
Yes, it's made out of 10 London taxis, obviously not used anymore, that's why we've managed to build it. And it was built by the students from Guildhall School of Music and Drama in London. They did it as a project, and then we took it off their hands, and it's been kind of refurbished, and we put lights on it, and there's a little surprise in it that I will leave your viewers to come and see when they approach it, what happens. illuminations.
Oh, okay, that sounds
A
awesome.
little teaser there.
A little teaser. You've got to come down here and see it. But just, of course, looking at it here, I can see like LED light strips that have all been added to it.
Yeah, so obviously, again, it's Lightpool, so it needs to light, and we're in the home of illumination, so we cannot put something out that isn't lit. So this big bird will be lit, and again, it's, as you can see, quite tall, so you won't be able to miss it.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
And yeah, can't wait to see it all out there.
Thank you.
As mentioned by Phil, Lightpool includes a projection show on the front of the tower. This large black trailer houses the 14 projectors that bring this show to life. Let's take a look inside with Sean and Richard.
Okay then, so we're now inside of the trailer just here. And it's huge, isn't it?
It's huge, quite a low ceiling, and that's to do with the size of the projectors
Okay.
and the distances we need to be away from the building.
Okay.
And these are all the control computers. So we have about 5 computers that are synced up, and they drive all the elements of the video, the tower festoon, that's all controlled by here. It all links in, and we can even control the tower from here. So
Oh,
that does
wow.
sync in to the video. And to be honest with you, that's quite unusual. You know, you can go to a lot of places and see some mapping or video shows, but how many places can you go and it's linked into the tower?
That's like a dream job for me as well. Like sitting in here, I assume there's got to be a technician at all the times to actually run that.
There is, yeah. We also have an announcer or presenter, so, you know, making sure the crowd's safe and introducing the next shows.
Really fascinating to see all of the monitors just there. And the projectors themselves then, so are they just underneath, are they where we are now, or above?
They're
all above,
They're
yeah.
all above, yeah. And we have to keep it all sealed, and that's really because the environment's very salty, causes a lot of problems with corrosion.
Yes.
So we have, behind that wall there's 2 giant chillers, and we keep it all sealed, and that just keeps the air cool, and they've got their own environment really, and that protects all the equipment.
Fascinating to see. And it was 14 projectors, did you say in total?
17K projectors.
Wow, that is
If
incredible.
we just go through this door, this is where all the computers live.
Okay, a little bit further around this way.
Real
Thank you.
behind the scenes tour. This
Oh
show.
wow, there we go. Yeah, never
so
been
these are all
seen
the
before.
racks where all the computers go.
There we go.
And if you want to, you can hold the camera there and have a look.
Yeah,
if you
definitely,
want,
yeah,
You
I'll-
can see what.
Come around this way. Here we go. We'll lift you up. So of course this is where the projectors normally go. They're not in place there at the moment, are they? They're all in flight cases in storage at the moment. But yeah, of course they sit there on the top. The 14 projectors, of course, all shine out of the windows. Amazing to see. Now I can see, Richard, why the ceiling's so low. Of course, with everything being at the top just there. Really good to see those.
After learning all about Lightpool, next up it's time to head out onto the roadway to replace some of the lamps.
Here we go then. So we're out on the roadway now. We're heading up just here in the lift. We're going to go and change some of the lamps just up here. Here we go. What a lovely day for it as well. So of course, a big job of course is looking after all the different lamps and replacing them, repairing them. Here we go. So it's just a matter of unscrewing them and then putting the new ones on. We've got down here. There we go, easy as that, and it goes. Get a good view from up here.
It's quite nice, yeah, it was a nice day.
Lovely view, great, there we go. I can officially say that I've changed some of the lamps now on the Blackpool Illuminations. There we go. Put this one out. You can see how weathered they get as well. Like, look at that, like how weathered they get compared to the nice shiny new ones. Just going to pop these down here. Cool. There we go. Give it a little shake just to make sure it's not going to fall down and hit somebody on the head. I think we're all good. Brilliant. Well, there you go. Thanks for that. Nice to come up here and have a little look.
Whilst we're out on the roadway, let's continue along the promenade and head into one of the Illuminations substations.
Right then, so we're still out here then on the promenade, just opposite Blackpool Pleasure Beach, aren't we, Richard?
We are. We're actually in the Pleasure Beach substation.
Right then, love this. Here we go.
So we've got a 6.6 kV feed that comes in, it's transformed down, and then we go into our network. So this is how we control all the illuminations, all the different panels, switch sections of the promenade. We can control these locally, or we can control them these days via text message. So we can text into a specific number that's got our numbers registered, and we can turn the lights on whenever we want.
That's amazing. That's modern technology.
That's a bit of modern technology, but on switch on night, we don't want to rely on, you know, wireless and communication things. We get that many people in Blackpool, so we always do it manually. Switch on night.
And how many of these substations is there along the whole sort of promenade?
There's 6 on the promenade.
6 in total. And of course somebody has to make sure that these are being checked on a regular basis too.
Absolutely.
And all
it's
the...
part of the illuminations team to look after all the infrastructure. So if you look carefully on the columns, obviously you went up earlier, you probably noticed there was a socket on the top.
Yes.
So these feed out into a feeder pillar and then up to the column, sockets on the column.
It's fascinating to see. Of course I'll spin you around this way just so you can see the size of the room. And here we go. And you said this is the main kind of like unit in here.
This is the transformer that comes in. So it's very high voltage that comes in, transformed down to 3-phase, and then fed into our network.
Wow, fascinating to see. It really is.
Our visit to Lightworks is starting to come to an end. However, there's a special element to the display that we just have to see before ending our tour.
So it wouldn't be a trip here to Lightworks and to the Blackpool Illuminations without seeing this, the iconic switch-on lever itself. This is it.
This is the original switch-on switch that dates back to 1934.
Wow, that is
So
incredible.
there's a lot of stars that touch this, as you can imagine.
It's just so iconic just to see it and be standing next to it. Like some of the stars, of course, that you know, stood right here and flicked it on the night.
Absolutely. It's made of solid brass. It's fibre optic these days. It did used to originally have glass in, but the glass kept breaking every time it was moved. But this switch only ever goes out for the switch on. It's never used for any other occasion.
Just for the big switch-on
Just for
night
the big
itself.
switch on itself.
I'm standing right next to it here. There you go. But I love all the little fibre optics. Normally when you see it from a distance, you don't realise all the fibre optics and the details in there. But there you go. Wouldn't be a trip here without seeing that. Absolutely fantastic just to see it and touch it. And yeah, brilliant. Right then, so it's come to the end of our tour here around Lightworks. Hasn't it been awesome, Charlotte?
It's been absolutely fantastic.
Just want to say a big thank you to the team here. They've been absolutely wonderful today, showing us round, taking you to places that have never been shown before to the public. I've learned so much, and I think Charlotte has too.
I've learned loads.
It's been amazing. Of course, I've been up there in a cherry picker, changing some of the lamps. That was absolutely amazing. Just getting so close to some of the different features here. Seeing behind the scenes, like of course, with the robo arm there, that was incredible.
Yeah.
The technology here, seeing some of the older parts here too, and just how it all comes together. This place is like a dream factory for Blackpool Illuminations. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been fascinated. And to come down here today, meet the team, meet the people that put this show together, this incredible light show, really is stunning. So thank you so much. We really do appreciate it, don't we?
We appreciate it so much.
Of course, big thank you to Charlotte as well for doing a lot of the camera work today. You've been doing a lot of filming, haven't you, today?
I have.
And you've learned a lot along the way too, down here. But of course, like I mentioned back at the start of the video and throughout, a big part of this is Blackpool Illuminations really do need the funding, of course, to keep on going and providing the biggest free light show there is out there anywhere in the world. So of course, get your donations coming in. They really do need it. And come down here and support them, definitely. Of course, they've got the collection boxes that are along the promenade at the start and end of the display. Get your donations coming in. They really need it.
Definitely.
But thank you very much for joining us here on Theme Park Worldwide for something very different. But at the end of the day, Blackpool is very close to our hearts, isn't it?
We absolutely love it.
And I think that's the same for a lot of people, like
Yeah.
with the pleasure beach and all the different attractions, the tower, the circus, the
Growing
ballroom.
up with Blackpool.
It is growing up with Blackpool, and to step in here today, honestly, I've been like a kid in a candy shop, just walking around this place, meeting so many people. It has been absolutely wonderful. So once again, thank you so much to the team here at Lightworks and Blackpool Illuminations. And from me and Charlotte, that leaves us with one final thing to say. Get out there and keep on riding. See you all soon.